Hello, welcome to the Mama J Speaks Unlimited. Thank you so much for joining us 2 to 3 today. I'm with a really incredible guest. He comes all the way from California, and he is a wonderful person that is actually, I would say, a really huge link in the Florida Film Industry Expo that is going to be going on in the next month or two. His name is Ian Stevens, and he's with me today as we dig deep to find out what he's all about, what he's doing here, what brought him here, and how he's going to change the world right here in Florida. For all of you that's new, tuning into my show, this is my Left Brainer show, more professional, but always with a metaphysical, spiritual humor undertone, because I want to seed and embrace you all with love, light, and unity. So welcome, Ian Stevens.
Welcome. I mean, you're welcome. I'm welcome. Welcome to here. Yeah. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for letting me bug you until you got here.
I know. I felt like I was living next door to Justin Bieber because I got eggshells on the outside of my house. So I said, I better clean up the mess so my family doesn't get mad at me and just show up, because otherwise she's going to keep throwing eggs at my house.
But the thing is, it wasn't your house. It was the neighbors.
I know.
No.
And you've really helped me with my neighborhood watch program. So now I'm in deep doo-doo now. Thank you. Thanks to you, Mama J. Yes.
Yeah. If only my throwing arm was really that good. Ask my kids. Oh, it's not.
Okay.
But
cool.
anyways, So how do you like Florida?
Well, I've been here for 5 years. We moved here in 2009 from Los Angeles. And it was a sheer economic move. It was kind of, semi-retired, being a stay-home dad when my kids were born.
Oh, you're a stay-at-home dad.
I kind of am now. I mean, I have my office in my home. But yeah, when we first moved here, before then, because my kids were both born in 2001, 2002. So I was a late bloomer. And it
happened. It's okay.
It did, and it was fine. I didn't. Being in the business for so long, you never dated what we called civilians.
Oh, civilians!
You didn't. You didn't date people outside because I didn't understand your schedule.
Oh,
because sometimes you'd be at the studio so early in the morning, at 6 a.m. and it wouldn't be done until 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
And sometimes the latter part of my years working at Universal Studios, I would sleep in the RVs in the back lot and just check out myself to stay there like a week if I was working and overseeing editing and that kind of stuff.
So that's where you came from, all the way out in California. You were born and raised there, yes?
Yes, I was born in Escondido, and family was in the industry for 4 generations. Yeah.
Oh, so this is like going into the military.
Pretty much. I would call myself an MK, not a missionary kid, but a motion picture kid or something along those lines. I don't know. But,
I have to go into the industry because my dad did it, and my grandfather did it, my great-great-grandfather did it, and their fathers before them all were in the industry. I have to do it.
Well, it was so funny because when I showed interest when I was 4 years old. I went to see The Music Man with my mom, and I saw Ron Howard playing Winthrop, and I looked at my mom and said, I want to do that. And she goes, no, you don't. She was like, yeah, I want to do that. She goes, no. She goes, but Mom, and within 6 months, I was playing Prince Tula Lockhorn and The King and I at the San Jose Civic Light Opera.
Yeah. And did you start doing commercials and doing all that stuff? And you did all of that just to prove your mom wrong, huh? At 4 years old.
Oh yeah, I was quite a handful. But we were bouncing back and forth between where I was born and raised a little bit in the first couple of years of my life in Los Angeles and Pacific Palisades in that area and San Diego. And then my dad decided to kind of break away from the industry, and then because he and his brothers were involved in doing stuff for Disney, and they were consultants with Walt Disney.
Oh, awesome.
So I know we're kind of skipping around here as far as
hung out with Walt?
Yeah, I was actually, when I was 6 years old, at the end of the Tournament of Rose Parade was the year he was the Grand Marshal.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at the end of the parade where they were coming out of the cars and stuff. And there was a big cluster of people all over because there were bands and equestrian units and all that kind of stuff. And I was talking with a cousin of mine, because all my cousins and everyone lives in L.A. And I kind of backed up and I bumped into this gentleman, and he looked at me and says, "Oh, I know you." And I said, and he picked me up and put up and was like that. And I said, "Oh, you're the guy that works with my dad." And he said, "Yes, I'm Walt Disney." And I went, "Oh, this is cool." So, I mean, here I was in the arms being held up
Oh,
Disney.
how awesome
Yeah,
is that?
yeah, the man,
You
the myth.
lucky dog, you.
Well, right place, right time. If I'd been over in the equestrian unit, shoveling poop, I probably never would have met him. But my father was a consultant. One of the many things my dad and my two uncles did were amusement parks and things like that, and they were part of the science fiction side of movie making back in the 60s. They were consultants on different films and things like that, sound effects, especially in movie making. No, that's much later.
That's much
No.
later?
This is 1950s and 60s.
Oh, okay.
So things like Day There Stood Still, a couple of Universal films my dad worked on he told me was Creature of the Black Lagoon and
oh, wow. Some real classics.
Some of the Abbott and Costello films, things like that.
Yeah.
So
film class.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I was just like, okay, this is what, but And then my dad was a real genius in hydraulics, and so he helped Walt Disney. Was consultant at Disneyland in 1955. So I was born in 58.
Right.
And he helped with the audio animatronics for the what's it called, the Jungle Cruise. And then later, the last thing my dad worked with him was as a consultant with the Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
So what's really a lot of people don't know about Mr. Lincoln is that what they did was what you hear was actually a result of a number of gentlemen that were in their 80s and 90s that actually fought in the Civil War that actually heard Abe Lincoln speak. And so they did a lot of different voices and they put it all together. And all these guys that were in their 90s that were the leftovers from the 19th century said that's Lincoln's voice. So what you hear at Disneyland and Disney World when Lincoln speaks, that's the closest they can have of his actual rotation of how he spoke, his mannerisms and everything.
How exciting.
Yeah. So, I mean, Walt Disney was smart beyond his years,
I'm just really excited to talk to somebody that was actually held by Walt Disney, because when I was in elementary school, I did a report about Walt Disney.
Oh, did you really? Oh,
yes.
Funny. Yeah.
I thought he was the coolest guy. Like, he's up there with Albert Einstein, because Albert Einstein's one of my favorite guys ever. I love geniuses.
Well, thanks. I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, it's like John Lennon said, if there is such a thing as a genius, I am one. No, I just do what I can do and have fun doing it.
Absolutely.
That's the key thing to anything. It's like, I tell my students, I teach acting classes here in Tampa, all throughout Florida, but I've condensed it more in Tampa. I was teaching in Orlando and in Sarasota, and I had 2 different style classes throughout Tampa.
You even Skype class.
I do. I have Skype classes.
When you really want to be dedicated, you can Skype class in case you miss coming in person.
Yes,
he will do that for you.
I will. I've got students in Boston. I got students in California, the Carolinas, and of course here in Florida. So how that came about was I had students that couldn't come to class all the time, and I couldn't make it out to Orlando.
Right.
And then someone said, "Oh, we consider Skyping," and we were like, "Oh, ding, 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 ding."
Hello.
And now we're talking podcasting. So
yeah,
I mean, I've been
element of technology.
I know. So I'm just kind of doing all that kind of sort of thing. So it's some great and exciting things that are happening, and how I got here to Florida. And
yeah, so you spent that type of childhood growing up with your brothers and your father working for Walt Disney. Then he was
a consultant. He really didn't work. He didn't really work for Walt Disney. He
popped in, popped out.
Pretty much, he and my uncles did. And then my one uncle, Michael Robin, was really big on monster movie makeup. And had actually a website for many years called Steven Studios, on how he would, after he left working as a consultant for the studios for monster movie makeup, then he would go and speak all around the United States
Was there ever a school for that he did?
I'm not sure. I know he may have, but I'm not sure.
Because at one point in my life, I think I was looking into doing some sort of makeup type stuff, but clearly I did not do that, because look where I'm at. But anyway,
that's okay. It's a whole different story. But across his experiments, though, he in the 1950s, and there's an archive. If you go on to YouTube, you can see go under Groucho Marx, his old "You Bet Your Life" shows, and my uncle Robin Stevens was on there showing. It was the first time it was ever been done. Through his experiments, he found that helium changed the vocal cords, and he talked about it, and he actually showed Groucho and his sidekick George Fenneman how to do it.
That's where it came from. Your family, your uncle.
My uncle. Which showed, and that
good job.
And then the word got out, and so people go, "Hey," and he did a high pitched voice, and talk like a munchkin, type thing. So
that's always fun, and then you feel really lightheaded and like, woo.
Well, that's the thing. He showed you how to do it, so you wouldn't be lightheaded.
Oh,
so you exhale your oxygen, inhale your helium, and do it 2-3 times, and then as you by the third time, people keep doing just inhale and they don't balance it out with oxygen. And
there's a secret.
There's the high in the
That
healing.
is the secret right there from the family.
Yeah,
family
the family
secret
Yeah, where's my
of the Stevens.
my chocolate chip recipes in here somewhere. Don't tell anybody.
So, you ended up at Universal Studios for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you do when you were at Universal Studios?
Well, I started like most of the people who are trying to, I was an actor for a long time, and
Jeff Conaway is one of your BFFs or something,
he
right?
was, yes, he passed away 2 years ago. Yeah, Jeff was my best friend, and we knew each other. I first met him when I was 15, and he was doing Grease. He was in the National Touring Company playing Danny Zuko, and then we hooked up again when I, through a series of circumstances, I was a student in 1978 at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in Pasadena, and he was doing a show, and we just somehow series of circumstances a lot. He was doing Taxi at the time, and we just strung up. We kept running into each other for whatever reason, at auditions or this or that. And of course, he was a A-lister. I was just some peon, coming into an audition.
Right.
But and we just struck up a friendship, and it was long lasting. And he was the godfather of my son Jeffrey, who I named him after. My son's his namesake. But yeah, so I directed him a lot of shows in Los Angeles. We did a couple of original Christmas musicals and rock and roll revival shows and things like that, where he was a part of. And I was fortunate to produce it and direct it for him back in the 90s, so forth. But anyway, started out as a tour guide at Universal.
Oh, a tour guide.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, you have to. If you want to get into production, they don't just hire you. You've got to go through you got to know. I mean, it literally, the book is this thick, folks, and it's page after page. You've got to know what everything about Universal Insight. You got to know Hollywood history. You have to know what a squib is. You got to know what the terms are in filmmaking, all that kind of stuff. And then you get tested on it. You get tested through. And through it, it's a 2-week crash course. And if you don't pass, you're not a tour guide. I mean, it's tough.
Wow.
It's really hard. Do you know what a squib is?
A squib is
squib.
Isn't that related to the Navy or something?
That's squid, not squib.
Squib.
I can't take her anyplace, folks. I don't know what the problem
squib.
is.
What is a squib?
A squib is a unit of Hollywood makeup blood. It's in a capsule and it has a little charge. And you tuck it underneath, and it's usually some cutaway shots. So right. So someone shoots you, and the little blood thing spurts.
That's right.
That's called a squib. And you can put them on cars. When you see like someone shooting a machine gun, like that. Well, a guy who's a technician has to be licensed on a movie set to do it. And he touches a little thing just like they do for fireworks. And he touches the unit to unit for the metal to metal. And when it does, it charges it off. So if he wants to do a spray of bullets that they've plastered in and sanded over and painted over a car to make it look like bullets, he just goes like that, and it goes. Then they add the sound effects and the music, and then
movie magic.
Yes, movie magic. Movie magic 101. And so
this is fun.
So I was a tour guide. So it was on like my side, your side, the driver's side, this side. I still have it memorized up here. I could tell you exactly. I could take you on a 2-hour tour.
That's a really good memory then. Of course, you've been an actor and a director and a filmmaker, so you would have a really great memory to remember.
Well, I have one of those. I forget.
Photogenic memories.
Yeah. That's like Mary Lou Henner. She's promoted her thing. Photographic memory.
That's it. Photogenic, photographic. It's all the same.
Pornographic? No, it's not that. Photogenic. Something like that. And no, so I mean, I blow people away because I'll remember certain things. And what we were talking about, as a matter of fact, Dan Roebuck, who's a regular actor on many, many shows, and was just out here doing a workshop here from Hollywood. We brought him out, and he did a wonderful workshop here in Tampa. And Dan's currently on the A&E show Mob City. Plays one of the detectives in the 1940s style, kind of like LA Confidential stuff.
Him in a few things.
Right.
He was on a couple of TV shows.
Lost. He was a regular Lost.
Yeah.
And he was on Matlock. He was a regular Matlock, and then did a boatload of shows. Did the movie The Fugitive with Tommy Lee Jones. He played Biggs. So he's talking about Hinky. Come on, hey, Hinky. Come on, Sam. Hey, Hinky's. Sam goes, what's Hinky? Played by Tommy Lee Jones. So Dan's had an illustrious career. He's done over 200 films, and he's done quite a bit. He's worked with all the heavyweights. So
at least he's a working actor. Because that's really important when you go into the industry. It's a matter of how often you get to work to do your craft and everything. And the more you are able to work and get your positions, then you can say, yes, I am.
Well, it's understanding. People understand that it's show business. It is show business. And people don't understand the business side of it. And that's what I teach in my class.
Oh, awesome.
A lot of acting directors will talk, and we'll work a lot of wonderful if you want to call them methods or things like that. I have my own personal methods that
acting.
I have. Method acting. Or if it's Sandy Meisner, or if it's Charles Jellinger or Chekhov or Stanislavski or any of that. And I incorporate a lot of the people that I've been taught through over my years, including Lee Strasberg and Nina Foch and Stella Adler, and the people that I've influenced my life very, directly. And so I'm just basically paying it forward. So it's a compilation of everything that I've done, and we do it in a very fun, exciting way. I don't yell at my actors. I don't go, "Oh, you're acting."
Oh, good.
I'm never
You're
one of
those awesome coaches. Then
I try. I'm just the messenger, and I just try to mold and shape whatever they give me. And I've been very blessed, I think, this last year as my classes have taken off and exploded. That literally everyone who's walked in the room, even if they thought they could never act, I find that my gift of discernment of finding that core within them and pulling it out and making it happen in a very quick way. And it's not, it's their own personal magic, but I'm just there to be to shape the clay and present it. And we do showcases. And
I hear that, or I read that you had a really successful actors showcase.
We did 2 weeks ago.
And you really had some really good people, producers, directors of some major films going to be coming up, and they were very impressed by what you did with your students. And they thought it was just going to be some schmaltzy thing. They thought, maybe we'll find a couple of diamonds in the rough. Right.
Literally, all 17 people got signed.
Rock on!
Yep. They either got signed by an agent or have been doing interview with the production companies and so forth. So we're real excited. And one of the producers pulled me aside and said, Ian, I really thought this was going to be, like I said, a diamond in the rough, a schmaltzy or whatever. He said, but I was blown away. And I said, well, that's what we're here for.
Well, you know what that means, everybody? If you are really interested in getting into the industry and acting, this would be the number one coach to go for.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you.
For sure. I mean, seriously, for you to help your students the way you have, to bring that out in them, and then to get the results where every single one of them got a sign for a production company or director.
Talent agencies, too.
Talent agencies. That is amazing. And it's encouraging because one day I'll show up.
Got to get you to class, girlfriend.
I know.
Well, I'm blessed in that regard because, again, we go back to Jeff Conaway. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be an acting coach. It came out of the whole part of, I was working at Universal at the time still. I mean, it was just a lot of things that were going on. And like I said, after we did the tour guide thing, then you had to apply, just like you're doing to page it in NBC. You have to work the offices to get into a job.
Work the ranks.
That's basically what I did. And then I realized that my Brad Pitt good looks were gone.
Aww,
so that's why I wanted.
Still adorable.
Thank you.
You got the baby face.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. I want to thank my mommy and daddy who produced me. So, we got it on the backside of things. And I did a little bit of radio. This is kind of reminiscent for me because I worked with Don Carlson at Classics 97.1 in Los Angeles for a while. Where I was his sidekick, and I did voiceover work. Still do voiceover work even here in Tampa. So some of the commercials you see, it's my voice, ladies and gentlemen. You hear on KFAT where we chew the fat. Of course,
I like it.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Our producer engineer dude here, Chris,
he does
voiceovers too, and he does pretty good.
This guy is like for sure.
Like Telly for sure.
Okay. Well, I'll have to talk.
My favorite voice to do is the Batman voice.
Batman.
No, I'm Batman.
No, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I like Jack Nicholson singing. Hey, nice outfit. Who's your tailor? That's what it's all about. Okay.
A little sneaker verse as well.
Yeah.
But, if you want,
don't get him started.
Can we do cartoon off here? Because I'll cartoon him to death.
Okay, you guys get 2 minutes of cartoon off. That's it.
Okay.
Just 2 minutes.
I'm going to start him off because I know for one thing, everyone's heard this one. I did this many, many, many years ago, and it's still rolling at Disney and Disneyland.
Oh, really?
So you get on the wild ride, the, what's it called? The Thunder Mountain.
Thunder Mountain. Okay.
I did this when I was 20 years old. That was like 2 years ago. So this is what you hear.
Hold on to your heads and glasses, boys and girls, and get ready for the wildest ride in the wilderness.
That's you?
Yes, ma'am.
That is the coolest voice ever.
And then I was fortunate enough to do Tigger for the Tigger movie because Jim Cummings was sick. He had laryngitis.
Did Tigger too.
I did Eeyore. He was sick. He does a lot of them. He took over when I forget who the original voiceover for that, but I studied under Dawes Butler, and Dawes was the voice of all the Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Oh.
So when I was really trying, that's another key thing for all you actors out there, you really need to be as versatile as possible. Really work on your versatility. Be a Renaissance performer. Don't just rely on one thing. You really got to develop. I have a couple of my students right now who are taking with Miss Nunez out in Orlando, and she's one of the top people. As a matter of fact, we're in negotiation to have her. We'll talk a little bit about the expo, and she's going to be one of our key workshop people. But she's like the gal in all of Florida to go to
for different voices.
For voiceover workshop, put a demo tape together, demo reel, that kind of stuff. She's really key. So a number of my students go with her, and I totally endorse her. I've seen her work, and it looks really, really good. But yeah, so Jim was sick one day, and some friends of mine at Disney called me up, and they said, "We understand you can do Tigger." And I said, "Yeah." And they literally were sitting in a room. They said, Ann Romano, who was the casting director at the time, she had me on a speakerphone, and she had all the producers of the movie that were right there.
So you were doing a cartoon on?
I was on a cell phone. Back in the time when
the
cell phones were bricks.
Which they're going back to, it seems like.
That's like
Galaxy.
And you had to have the power thing in your head. It's
the
like,
power pack?
I felt like it was like World War II. Okay, Omega, we have Mega, fire in. Come in, Mega, come in, we're firing in. So I did the Tigger. I just auditioned right there on the phone. I just said, exactly. That's what a wonderful thing. The Tigger, the only thing. And then they said, well, he also did Eeyore, and they needed to redo some scenes.
Right.
So I said, oh dear, what do you want to do? Oh, pooh, here we go again.
Wow. I think I'm with the legend right now.
Yeah, legend in my own mind, but that's a whole different story. But so we did
your life there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I said, I did that. It helped pay the bills, and I had a really good agent, and she had all the top people, and it was a hard circle to break into. And I've still got some friends of mine who, like Phil Crowley, who does Shark Tank and a lot of the Discovery or history dogfights of Europe, and his narrations are always on top.
So you did mostly a lot of voiceover, cartoons, narrations, and stuff like that. Did you actually
PBS things like documentaries, like that. Narratives, yeah,
narratives of documentaries?
Yeah.
Did you ever do a sufficient amount of work in front of the camera, or have you always preferred just being behind the camera?
A little bit of both. I mean, the time when I was in my 20s, I mean, I did some feature films and things like that, and I did TV shows, episodes of Mork and Mindy and Happy Days and things like that. When I was a young actor, I was like between 20 to 23, 24. Then I was doing a lot of stage. I was in touring companies. I did Cats, Evita, JC Superstar. My hair was longer than yours. I had a beard and mustache. And
you were Jesus?
No, actually.
Or were you the other dude?
I was one of the apostles. I was the other dude. Judas? No, I'm sorry. Didn't hang myself. No, I was one of the apostles, Apostle John. And then in the scene, because I looked so much like this guy named Jeff who was playing, and then, of course, Ted Neely had done Jesus as well for a while. And they had this, one of the guys that said, the director, John Ford, said, we want you to stand up on stage and do this. So I had to do this for half an hour for the last part of the show.
Wow.
While Jesus was out of body saying, forgive them, Father, they know not what they speak. And they had a laser light in my back, and it was illuminated, so all they saw was the shadow of me standing there. But one day we were in the auditorium, and it was hotter than blaze. I almost felt, I had the guy with the spear. I was whispering down, I said, just keep poking me in my ribs to keep me awake, because I was ready to faint.
Yeah.
I was 19, 20 years old, and I was in good shape. I was about 170 pounds, and I was just, had to keep my arms up there with nothing. I wasn't on a cross. I was having to just hold my arms up there.
Wow.
So
after a while, all your blood drains, your arms go numb, and
I was fortunate enough. It wasn't too bad, but no, I just, like I said, to answer your question, I was fortunate enough to do a lot of different things. I did some radio, just like what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. The cartoon voices I did, working for Hanna-Barbera, I did some stuff for them. Things like Sylvester the Cat. I did for Warner Brothers. After Mel Blanc died, they basically distributed all the voices. Nash Blanc, who was his son, or no, I think it's Nash Blanc, Mel Blanc's son, initially got the part of Bugs Bunny and a number of the characters because he could master it. But then he got let off. And they said the reason why he got let off, Warner Brothers said, was because he didn't have the actor behind the voice. Where his dad was a performer. Worked with Jack Benny. He was the one that said, all trains for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga. And then people think there's actual towns in Los Angeles, and yes, they are.
Wow.
I lived in Rancho Cucamonga, so it's before we moved down here. So there was a lot of that. So they broke up a lot of the about 5 or 6 people took over some of the voices.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked on Space Jam. I got a chance to work on Space Jam, do some different things, and then Bob Bergen a friend of mine had worked on doing Marvin the Martian. So a couple days he was sick. I got to do Marvin the Martian and not get to annihilate you. So we'd fill in from
so
one.
Awesome.
We get
so
to
now
fill
we
in.
see you in like all the. Oh, Ian was in that.
All right,
Which one is he?
I'm
Well,
not
he's
sure.
the cartoon.
Exactly. So are you ready for a cartoon off?
You want to do a cartoon
You want
off?
to do a cartoon off? No, I'm going to do mostly Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Okay.
There's other stuff like Ren and Stimpy, which I did for a little bit too. So
You'll probably beat me because you got a lot more years behind you than I do.
Nah, I'm only 23, so I'm good.
Well,
You got 2 minutes.
oh, she's timing.
Yeah, she's timing us out, pal.
Yes.
Okay. So
2 minutes.
well, let's see here.
On your mark, get set, go.
Hey, Mom, I went to this casino and I put in $1 and I won 4 quarters. I win every time.
Vegas Vacation?
No, that was Chris Griffin, Family Guy.
Ah, okay, here
Oh,
we go. Have it some even. Which way to go? Which way to go? A Snugglepuss here. Exit stage left. Oh, the Colonel's after me. I gotta go even.
Oh, gosh, I know that one, too.
Snugglepuss.
Okay. Yeah.
Snugglepuss.
Remember Snugglepuss? And then, of course, Yogi Bear.
Yogi
Bubba!
Hey, boo-boo.
Hey, Bubba! Mr. Ranger, sir! We got a picnic basket there, okay, boo-boo!
The Ranger's not going to like that, Yogi.
There you go.
Yogi. That's what I mean.
George Jetson, you're fired.
I can't do Jetson.
That was Mr. Spacely.
Yeah.
That was Mr. Spacely, but Mel Blanc did his voice, too.
I can, let's see, who can I throw in there?
That's the line you still have. Yes. Oh, he'd like to do your job. You want Jedi Knight, you want not.
Of course. Then there's
R2.
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
yeah, where's George Lucas when you need him, right? George, we're here. Right here, babe. Right here. Call me.
Hi.
We'll do lunch. Real soon. No, I just had a lot of fun, doing that kind of stuff. So, little Bugs Bunny here and there, like, what's up, Doc? Oh,
you-
get stereo. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
And then, of course, you have Sylvester, 6 weeks without cat food, I'll starve. Stuff like that. You keep you humble. But I had a lot of fun with my kids because then,
They thought you were the coolest, funniest dad ever.
you would think so now. They're both 11 and 12, and it looks like they go, oh, really, Dad? Are you kidding me? Like, what are you talking about? My daughter gets in this Valley thing now. It's like,
I'm like,
I'm sorry, like, Dad, please. She says that she doesn't. But
Daddy, that was like 5 minutes ago.
I'm telling you that, Dad, and I go, do they actually, I said, you're from California, but you're living in Florida. They talk like that in Florida? She goes, no. But they get the snooty thing because they watch Disney. They watch the Nickelodeon shows, and they think it's like really cool to talk like that,
Like Tele.
Like, yeah. But they only do it when they really want to emphasize something.
Yeah.
When Lacey wants something, my daughter Lacey, I love you, Lacey. You know I do. She's like, Daddy, I'm meaning to ask you.
Like,
and I go, what?
Sure, can you
And I go,
do
what?
this?
Can I
Can I go?
can I go to like Disneyland
Can
with
you
20 kids by myself?
Can you give me $500?
Yeah, can I know like when we get some more money, can I like buy like the most expensive like Mickey television or something? I go, girl, chick, get a life. It's like,
Daddy loves you.
of course,
Really?
yes, I do. And she knows it.
Well, my daughter's almost 9 years old, and she still loves it when I do that. Elmo loves you very much. She loves the Elmo voice.
Oh.
La 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 Elmo's right.
Yeah, so there we go. Dueling Elmos.
What tickles?
I've
That's
done
pretty
the
good.
Elmo.
That's pretty good.
Kermit Frog here, but today we're going to talk about the
I've
color
done
green.
Mickey too when I was working at because I worked for Disney.
There you go.
At the studios.
Rootin' tootin' time.
I actually it was really funny. I was working in the back lots at Disney, and
They let you out?
they did. They really did. They thought, oh, she needs to be freed. So I
Here
did
she is,
that.
folks, right here.
I'm free.
Oh,
So, it was really good. I was so convincing that they really thought that the stuffed animal Mickey was the live Mickey stuffed animal.
Trivia question for you.
I don't know if I know
Up
it.
until 1960, who did the voice of Mickey? All from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and up until 1960.
Walt Disney.
Yeah, that's right.
I
It
it.
was Walton, the old man himself.
It's
yeah.
because I did that research paper in elementary school.
See, and he's rootin' tootin' time. Ha, ha. There you go. There it is. And they said if it wasn't for that train trip that he took from Chicago to LA,
he would have never.
He said, well, he looked. There's a new movie coming out with what's his face?
Banks.
Not Saving Mr. Banks. The new one that's coming out.
Oh,
with,
the other one. I saw that one.
Who's the guy the lead in The Notebook? The young guy, the young actor. He's playing young Walt Disney, and they show him on the train, and he looks up and he sees the cloud formation of what we now know as the big ear and the big face and the big nose of Mickey Mouse, and that's how he said he got it, was looking up and seeing the cloud formation over Kansas.
I know who he's talking about, but
he was in Remember the Titans, yeah.
Totally escapes my mind, but I see the picture.
Oh,
of
Ryan,
him.
Ryan, what's his name?
Yeah, Ryan. Ryan, you know who you are.
Yeah, Ryan, you know who you are. Ryan Gosling. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. But he's playing this new movie that's coming out. Where
I actually like him. He's a pretty good actor.
Oh, he's a very good actor.
He's very versatile and his different movies that he's done. But nothing competes with that Kiss and Notebook. Every girl's dream.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yes.
Well, I'm connected with the Notebook in a lot of
Don't
ways. Don't even go there, please. No, when I was at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, I studied there for a while, and Nicholas Cassavetes was a classmate of mine, and he's the one that directed that. His mother is Jenna Rollins, who played the older woman with James Garner, the one that had lost her mind.
Oh,
That's his mother in real life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Keep it in the family,
keep
folks.
It in the family.
Keep
his
it in the
dad
family.
was John Cassavetes, and if you're a big movie buff, you'd know John Cassavetes from his work from A Woman Under the Influence, Dirty Dozen, with Lee Marvin, and John Cassavetes was always Mr. Bad A in Hollywood.
Fabulous.
Yeah, it's great. So Hollywood legend there. No.
So that was your life in California, and then all of a
threw it all
sudden,
away,
and came here to Florida
to retire.
Of which you totally psyched yourself out, and you were like, maybe not.
Well, it's not so much. No. We came to Florida because we had the house here, and we also had the place in California. But we just
you wanted to go to both Disney Worlds, just to.
I know. I know. I get it free, but don't tell anybody. Shh, it's our secret. Don't tell anybody. Shh. But no, it was a matter of economics. The state taxes were going through the roof, and Schwarzenegger was.
You mean in California?
Oh, yeah, they have state taxes. And Schwarzenegger was putting out these incredible bonding issues that people had to fork up. And I had just started my company, 1-2 Punch Productions. And because Angie said, you drive me nuts, you're being a stay-home dad. The kids were like 4 and 5 at the time, so you need to go back to work. So I actually did retail for a while, sold furniture just to kind of. We had moved out to Rancho Cucamonga, which is about 60 miles outside of LA. So we were away from the whole.
So your wife said, "Get out
of the house and go to work." And I did work some odd jobs as an actor growing up, dishwashing, waitering, the typical actor stuff.
That's
but I
funny.
had a fight, had done different sales jobs.
I can't stand you. You're around way too much. Go to work already.
I know.
I love you, but please get out of my face.
So we had a nanny for the kids. Angie wanted to work, so she was working for a company that did all the landscaping for the Vegas resorts up like Steve Wynn's company and all that stuff, Bellagio. And so I went back to did retail. It was really funny because here I was working for this company that I eventually did commercials for. It was called Living Spaces Furniture, which is like the number one furniture retail. They do massive, volume-based business. So their motto was buy today, enjoy tonight. So they would same-day delivery. You see what you want, boom, we've got massive. Because they really worked it out.
Wow.
So
we're already at 10 minutes.
Really?
To the end.
Oh, my gosh. We started late, though.
Yeah. But there's another one coming in.
We'll just take over that one, too.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how it started. So I got into that. And it was funny because people from Universal come out and buy it. They'd see me with a notepad going, can I take your order? And they're going, Ian, what you used to do? And you do it. And I was like going, hey, don't ask, okay?
You got to work, whatever you got to do.
Right. But some great things are out. We're out here. Some friends of mine, Matt Ayotte, who's now my junior partner with 1-2 Punch Productions, said, we need a lot of help. And what can you do? So I just said, well, what do you have going? And he just said, well, come to at the time he was working at the FMPTA, and they just needed to kind of rekindle. It was like an old folks home, really.
Oh,
people just sitting around just talking about the good old days. And
no, you got to make new days. You got to be in the now and look for the future.
So some feelings were hurt. And
progressive.
Exactly. So unfortunately, some feelings got hurt, and we're trying to work to people, but egos got in the way. And that's the difference between Florida and California. There are no film groups per se. as they are here in Florida. It's not a big thing in California. There are acting groups and actors co-ops. I've been asked to speak. I spoke at Arts Institute this last year and the year before, and then a couple of other institutions of production and so forth, like Full Sail out in Orlando and other companies, Florida International. And I just said, no, there's no reason for it. And to me, it's just a waste of time. You got to be about the work. You got to be about putting the scripts together, getting the money to make it happen, and go out and shoot and film. Well, then the more political end of things have been happening over the last couple of years by the incentive programs and,
Yeah, I read about that in the newspaper.
Well, it's still very active. People just say, well, it's all dried up. No, the money's been issued out for 2016, but they still have over 20 projects that are going to be filmed here because they've already tapped into that. So it doesn't mean that there's not going to be any filming here.
Okay, so everybody relax.
Exactly.
There is filming still occurring.
Right.
Don't totally go by that newspaper article.
The key thing, guys, is not to give up on Florida because with the work coming, you need to, and the thing about it is to get over the apathetic approach to filmmaking. That's the reason why a lot of California and New York companies bring their own talent, they bring their own crew, which is the reason I started the acting classes. So like I said, I started
so you could generate the actors, and there
get
is
them
a lot
trained up
here.
properly.
Right.
And there's just a lot of misinformation I find from different classes. I just where do they get off saying these things to actors and making them feel subhuman?
Aww.
Whereas I call my class the playground. We come and we play, we create, we have a great time.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So we keep it very positive. A lot of affirmation, but it doesn't come with paying your dues and dedication and hitting your mark and memorization and all the fundamentals that you got to do to make it work for yourself.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like I spoke at the legislature last June down in St. Pete when they had a local powwow, if you will, with congressmen and legislators and that kind of stuff and filmmakers. And I said, as a producer and a director at one time, in comparison, it was like if we had to change things on set instantaneously, I'd say, okay, guys, we need to move this here. The director of photography said we need to move this. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, boom, got done. Here, it was like, I wish you guys would make up your mind.
Yeah, I was on a set.
And it's like that kind of thing's got to go.
I've done some extra work.
We don't call it extra work. Featured. You are a featured player.
I'm a feature player.
Never call yourself
But I was
an
always
extra.
in the background. So
well, then you're just a feature. You got featured. You didn't say
or
anything.
I was on the cutting room floor. I don't know.
You never know. I've been down there about a few times myself.
I don't know, but
it's just kind of a healthier way to approach yourself in the acting field.
Oh, so it's about boosting that spirit.
You have to. You got to maintain that.
Affirming as opposed to blah 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 blah.
Right.
So that's the progressiveness of the industry that you're bringing here to
I'm
Florida.
trying to tie between Hollywood and LA. And build that golden road, and that's why I created the Film Industry Expo.
Yes,
it's going to be in August.
Florida Film Industry Expo. Go to his site,
August 2nd and 3rd, and you can go to that site. It's just FFI Expo, and we have a wonderful lineup. We have some of the same people that came last year that have been asked to come back and have wanted to come back. We have Mark Palladini, who's one of the top casting directors in the United States. He does a lot of name attachments to films.
Oh, wow.
Did 90210 from Beverly Hills, did The Mask, discovered Cameron Diaz, he's discovered Andy Garcia,
Will anyone discover me?
Of course. You can be, like I said, Bette Midler's sister right here. So anybody wants to cast Bette Midler, just go,
hello.
The Boogie Boogie
Hey,
Boogie
Bette
Boy.
Midler, give me a call.
That's it. With
you
beaches.
Want me to, yeah.
Wings, let's get the wind beneath your wings. There you go, right there.
I gotta lift them.
It's there, I know. So that's coming up, and we've got a lot of people, everyone from both sides of the camera that are award winners. Are there Emmy award winners, so forth? We've got Rasha and Stephanie Drakovich, who their company is 44 Blue. I've known, fortunately, I've known Rasha since 5th grade, and we grew up in this industry. And they have the #1 production company for reality based, and they have the new show, The Wahlburgers, with Donnie Wahlberger and Mark.
Yeah,
that's their show.
Oh, awesome!
And also
I actually like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, he's really good. I like him. And their family, they're now expanding to do a lot of stuff.
Pie.
Yes.
Everybody's married now.
Yeah,
but that's
he's
all
got a couple
right.
kids.
I know. I got a couple kids.
Well, me too. So we're all good.
Kids is irrelevant. No.
So they have that show. They have Lockup on MSNBC. So these are top name people that are working on both sides of the camera that are lending their expertise. It's always good to fine tune your craft. How I came to be an acting coach was based just strictly on that. When Jeff asked me, would you be willing to coach us? There's a number of us that take Milton Casellas, and on any given Sunday, on Saturday morning, Milton Casellas, who's since passed away, was the guru of Hollywood actors coaching. And you walk in on a Saturday morning, you'd see Paul Newman, Robert Redford, Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer, all the top A brands. And why were they on their A game? Because they were fine-tuning their craft.
Right.
And for people to tell me, I don't do acting classes. I just go from movie to movie. Yeah, well, why aren't you in New York?
You want to hone your skills to become world-class, the best, not just good. And that's something that I'm realizing within myself. I want to fine-tune
your craft.
Yeah, hone it. Figure out what my raw talent is and say,
that's how that started.
Let's chip away, turn this into a diamond. So.
Well, that's how that came about. So eventually Jeff basically started out my first class. It was Jeff and Tony Danza and a few others. And then I started coaching, what's her name? Nell Carter and Michael Jeter and a few others. And I got to be the one-on-one coach. And then we did group classes as well. And then when I retired, when my kids were born, I basically said goodbye to Hollywood. And that's why I went into retail and was stay-at-home dad, that kind of stuff. So I just kind of put that on. Moved from Pasadena out to Rancho.
Right.
And then, of course, we're here now. So we're basically taking the world by storm. We've got a couple of projects happening. 1-2 Punch Productions is my company. We're formulating some new things. I can't tell you right now, but it's in the works.
It's a secret, but it'll be coming out soon.
Tampa by storm. We're actually going to, I'll say this, it's my motto, where I'm here to change the skyline of Tampa.
Oh,
so there's some
very, very good.
So with that we're building with the relationships that we get with the studios in LA and what we're going to be doing here. We just got finished, our association with our sponsorships that David Yates just called me. He's the CEO of the aquarium and also one of the executive producers for Dolphin Tale 2.
Hi, Mr. David Yates. I'm going to be working with you rather soon.
There you go. She's going to be feeding the dolphins.
Or
be a dolphin. There you go. Oh, okay. Yeah, you have that kind of scaly thing. Is this your blowhole up here?
No, okay. I don't. I'm very soft and smooth, like a mermaid. Well, the top half,
of course.
But anyway.
So we're proud that 44 Blue is going to be one of our sponsors, and Dolphin Tale as well. And it's going to be a great expo. From like I said, if you're a grip, a gaffer, a writer, a screenwriter, makeup, hair, stuff, casting, directing, all aspects of the film, making both sides of the camera.
That's you.
August 2nd and 3rd at the DoubleTree by Hilton. Tickets are only $99 for the whole weekend, and then we're going to have a red carpet gala dinner event that night for only $99.
Oh,
and that's
get
tickets.
To meet some stars.
VIPs. Everybody will be there. You bet. And we have a great lineup you can see so far on the website at FFI Expo. Just click on the speakers. You'll see who's there and their brief bio on their demo reels. Carlos Gomez, who's on Glades and Burn Notice, is going to be one of our speakers as well as Pam Riley, who's a regular on Little House on the Prairie. And she was also on the Social Network. She played one of Zuckerberg's professors. And long-standing. These are people who have been in Hollywood for years and have a long-standing career.
And they're going to be coming here to the Tampa Bay area. So everybody that got to tune in today, thank you for watching. Thank you, Ian Stevens, for being my guest. It was so great to have you. I hope to have you again. And all of you tune in later on, 7 to 8. And thank you for watching. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.